Matthew Phelps remains here at the Wake County Detention Center. His attorney not talking tonight. They sent me this report and say, based in part on my request, they'll be sending investigators out here to take a closer look at the intersection. We just got an update from fire officials. They tell us 41 people were displaced in this, meaning they cannot return home tonight. Allison was parked right at Pump 7 over there. She was captured on that surveillance camera, and you can see here tonight a poster on the door asking for the public's help finding her. Just in the last hour, we have had several people coming up to our news truck telling us that their tap water is brown. These are the kinds of lines of fire that crews have had to contend with, that he used a crowbar to get in, but what he failed to notice was the surveillance camera overhead. Well, actually, I'm in the back seat. My photographer, Lauren, is riding shotgun at the moment. I am with Dwight Collins with Pristine Turf Management. I have moved up in the world from outside to into the Dean Dome and front row center. I'm joined with a lot of energetic, excited, a very brave young woman indeed, still shaken up by this ordeal. Now, it came to an end just across the road from us here on the Beltline. She pulled over after she had been shot. With those behind it still at large, she asked that we not give her name or show her face.
It wasn't like you was aiming to scare me, you was aiming to kill me.
The victim of this road rage shooting tonight not mincing words. She tells me she was shot at 6 times and the intention was clear.
It was a big gap in between us, well, between him and another car. So I ended up speeding up a little bit to get in front of them, and they ended up blinding me with their bright lights.
It was back on Friday, November 10th. She says she was coming from Crabtree Valley Mall, getting on the Beltline, headed east. Once on 440, she tells me the driver got in front of her and slammed on his brakes. She managed to avoid hitting him. Words were exchanged, and then the unthinkable.
The girl he was with pulled out a gun, and she cocked it back, and I seen him reach for it. But I'm not sure which one pulled the trigger, but all I seen was gunshots. When I pulled over, all I felt was pain.
Fortunately, she wasn't alone in the car. Her friend called 911. She'd been shot in the buttocks and required immediate surgery. She spent 5 days in the hospital. She still suffers with stomach pain and has trouble walking.
Would you say you're lucky to be alive?
Yes, I am. He shot at me 6 times. It could happen to anybody else that's out there. And the fact that you would even do something like that, and it's like your conscience doesn't bother you.
Police still investigating, but no arrests have been made. Now, the victim says that those behind this were in a BMW SUV. Again, it was a man and woman in that vehicle, a man behind the wheel, a woman in the passenger seat. She is asking anyone with information on this to give police a call. Live in Raleigh, Amy Cutler, CBS, North Carolina. I spoke with Mariah's grandmother tonight, Melissa Hunter, telling me she is caring for Mariah's 2 older brothers. They are 5 and 10 years old, and she tells me they're heartbroken. For a second day, authorities searched the woods and ponds close to the Dawson Cabin Road trailer where 3-year-old Mariah Woods went missing.
Just bring her home, please, safe and sound. She's my baby. She's my everything.
Her mother, Christy, making that impassioned plea Monday. She says the last time she saw her daughter was Sunday night around 11 o'clock. The last person to see her, Christy's live-in boyfriend. Authorities telling us he reported seeing the toddler at midnight. He says she woke up and he told her to go back to sleep. Christy says when she got up the following morning around 6 a.m., Mariah was gone. That's when she called authorities.
And when you can't find what you're looking for, it kind of hurts you in your heart, you know, because you don't have closure.
Mike Haley is the assistant chief with Hawes Run Rescue Squad. As a father and grandfather, this search is personal.
So we went back in there driving around and looking for some things that might be out of the ordinary.
The area Haley and his fellow volunteer squad members looked over the last 2 days, highlighted in pink. He showed me the all-terrain rescue unit, basically a souped-up ATV they've been using.
You don't really know where to go look, and you just know you got to go out there and look.
Kaylee says he's had several neighbors coming in wanting to help in the search. He's been passing those names over to the sheriff's office. Back out here, the mobile home they shared tonight being treated as a crime scene. Sheriff's deputies not allowing anyone in or out of it. The sheriff's office has been tight-lipped about their ongoing investigation, but they are asking anyone who had any contact with the family to give them a call. In Jacksonville, Amy Cutler, CBS, North Carolina.
23 years in Special Forces, an enemy couldn't kill me, but my well's going to.
Mike Waters making light of what's become a very real concern for him and his family.
We'd always noticed you take a shower, your eyes burn 15-20 minutes after taking a shower.
So they no longer shower in their own home. They either go to Fort Bragg or use this trailer.
We basically fill it up with water. We'll take showers in there instead of driving every night into Fort Bragg. Pretty bird.
Then there are the pets. One bird died suddenly. His dog Zeus developed several tumors.
13 tumors in them, and up by the shoulders you can feel them.
Waters says his ordeal started back in September when Chemours came to his home to test his well for the chemical Gen X. He lives about a mile from that $6 billion global chemical company's Fayetteville location, and he wanted to double-check their numbers. Waters telling me he reached out to the state.
Knowing that it took me 11 days fighting to get them to test it, I went ahead and paid Gel Labs. I pulled water 1 hour before the state pulled it.
Waters paid $800 and had the lab test for every chemical they could. He showed me the 19-page report.
It totals 508 nanograms of contaminants in my well.
Next, he says he reached out to the researchers who originally found Gen X in the Cape Fear River.
He goes, yeah, I'd be concerned. He goes, there's things in your well we didn't see in the river.
A forum on Gen X will be held tomorrow evening at UNC Wilmington. Waters says he's leaving work early to attend. I'll be at it. In Fayetteville, Amy Cutler, CBS, North Carolina. I first told you about problems with the Cumberland County Health Department back in May. Since then, I've spoken with those at the health department and county commissioners, but we haven't heard from a patient, that is, until now.
This is very frustrating, a lot to deal with.
A situation Candace Thompson shouldn't be in. She says for the last 8 years, she's been going to the Cumberland County Health Department for her annual pelvic exam and pap smear.
I thought everything was well and was going okay until I went somewhere different this year.
That new doctor telling her she had an irregular cervix. She says that would have shown up in pap smears, but she tells me she was never informed of any abnormal test results by the health department. If she had been notified, she could have gone for additional testing and follow-up. Now she says she's in danger of developing cervical cancer and has to have her uterus removed.
I really don't want to have that surgery because I do want more kids, and having that surgery, I don't have that chance anymore.
Thompson has a 4-year-old son, but at 29 years old, she hoped to have other children. She believes she's one of the 29 women who were never notified of abnormal test results. CBS North Carolina first told you about problems at the health department back in May. That report prompted an internal audit. According to the county, it looked at cervical screenings done from 2011 to 2015, and it found that all 160 patient records it reviewed weren't handled in accordance with policy. All of these women had abnormal test results.
We have requested her medical records, have not gotten those records back yet.
Alan Rogers is Thompson's attorney. He tells me they put that request in about 45 days ago. Thompson says she's speaking out because she believes there are other women out there. She's hoping this gets the word out and that they'll come forward and get medical attention they need. In Fayetteville, I'm Amy Cutler, CBS North Carolina.